Hi, today I'm going to make some of my Oh Baby soaps, and I thought I would show you guys how I do the process. I've done a little bit of preparation already. I measured out my oils. I just use, in this batch, I just use olive oil and castor oil. Just a little bit of castor oil. I've measured out the fragrance oil here in a little container to add. Special fragrance oil for oatmeal, milk, and honey soap. And I've got my goat milk mixed with a little bit of, with some water, and I add a bit of sugar to that for bubbling. Adds to the bubbles in the soap. And I've got some oats to put on top for decoration. The only thing I haven't done here was measure out my lye water. So I have a pre-mixed batch of lye and water here that I make a 50-50 batch of water and lye mixture. And it's nice to have it on hand because then I don't have to mix it up separately for each batch. And then I just adjust the water that's needed for each batch based on the proportions of water. So for this batch I need 350 grams of this mixture. So I'm going to measure that out. Try to get it as close to I can. Just a tiny bit more. Good. Put that aside. Okay, it's got a little bit of dry bits in there, but that's okay. That will blend all up again when I use the mixer. So I've got my two oils here mixed. And I'm just going to, it's pretty simple at this stage when everything's measured out, just to go ahead and start mixing everything together. So we use a stick blender to keep everything, to get everything mixed up really quickly. Oh, one thing I almost forgot. I do need to add just a little bit more water to this because I need a little bit of extra water, which I calculated out to be an extra 56 grams of water. I do the water quite high in these. I don't discount too much. Do a bit of a discount, but not much. Okay, so they end up being really nice hard bars when they're fully cured with the almost 100% olive oil there. So I just add the lye water gently to the oils. Get it all in there. Maybe scrape it out a bit. And get all of that. And then I just give it a good blend. This part's going to be a bit noisy. See, this olive oil gives it a little bit of a green color. Some olive oils have a different tint to them. This one that I'm using is a Costco Kirkland pure olive oil, and this one just has, this batch seems to be a little bit green tint. Doesn't really come out in the soap though, so. Okay, so then I'm going, now I've just mixed it. Really it's not even quite traced yet, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and add my goat milk and sugar. Whoops. Goat milk and sugar. I just like to strain this in just in case there's any bits that weren't fully mixed, just to get it nice and smooth. Gives it such a nice creamy color and nice smooth creamy bubbles. So it's getting a little bit thicker now, you can see. So I'm going to add my fragrance oil now too. Such a yummy fragrance. It's kind of a sweet, homey, really nice, very popular scent. Let me get little bit bubbly there. If you get air under the mixture, you get bubbles in there, which you don't really want. Still pretty thin. I don't want these too thick. I want it easy to pour. And this fragrance oil discolors the soap, but it gives it a really nice, warm, oatmeal looking color, so I don't mind. It smells so good. Okay, so this is just about the way I like it for pouring these bars. All of my olive oil soaps, I make them in these little individual molds. Just kind of my signature thing. So with the oatmeal soap, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons. Where's my measuring thing? I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons. It doesn't have to be exact. Of ground up oats in here. Just gives it a nice texture. A little exfoliation in the soap, and also oatmeal gives a nice soothing property to the soap. Could probably even add more, but I just like it just a little bit in there, not too much. And if the soap is thick enough, it suspends it in there really nicely, doesn't drop to the bottom. Now the tops of these I'm just going to decorate with a bit of oats. So the soap doesn't have to be too thick, because I'm not going to really make any decorations on top other than that, no swirls or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and start pouring these into the molds. Make sure there's no bits in there. So these are going to have to sit still for a while, so I want them right in the place where they're going to be when they're poured, because then I'm going to leave them alone for 24 hours or so to let them harden up. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. It should be just enough with my liquid calculations. It should be just enough to fill 18 bars here. It doesn't matter if I get a little bit messy, that part doesn't come out in the soap, so I like to have them really nice and full. So this is a pretty simple recipe with just the 2 oils. My other soaps have some hard oils in them too, so then there's some melting involved before you get started to melt the hard oils down. This one's quite simple. I like making these. It's nice to do just an easy soap sometimes. And we're just getting to the end. There's going to be some extra because quite a bit sticks to the outside of the bowl. So I forgot that I usually need an extra mold out here just to